Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video. As always, please leave a like and subscribe. And today they just had the Senate hearing. A couple people were present, Dejoy, the Postal Inspector, one of the board members, and one of the members of the Postal Regulatory Commission. And it was pretty interesting. Some evasiveness there in regards to specific information or dates. I think the best estimate he gave for when some of the mail delays would be resolved was around the summer. There's also some interesting moments where it was a little bit heated, and it was kind of funny to watch Dejoy get grilled a little bit.
Over a month ago?
Point in Nevada. Okay,
Nevada. It's Nevada, sir. Please say it correctly. It's Nevada.
And I'll share some clips of that. I also broke down the video into clips where I took some highlights that people might want to know about. So if you want to check that, just check the chapters below the video, and I broke it down a little bit better. But yeah, I covered aspects of the postal police reform law that was being proposed, stuff about the mail delays, and the specific stations that are closed, have been closed for years, that haven't been opened yet, and the election, as well as medical care that it's supposed to take effect later this year with open season. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy.
Our third witness is Michael Kumbayanda, and he is chairman of the Postal Regulatory Commission, which is the Postal Service's regulator. Mr. Kumbayanda, you are recognized for your opening remarks.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman Peters, Ranking Member Paul, and members of the committee. The Postal Regulatory Commission is a micro-agency with a substantial mission, providing transparency and accountability of the U.S. Postal Service. The Commission recently issued its compliance determination for 2023 and will soon issue 2 more reports. The research is alarming. Service performance, finances, and efficiency are moving in the wrong direction. These findings should raise concerns now, with elections scheduled for this fall and mail ballots expected to play a role. In Georgia, Virginia, Texas, and other states, service quality has continued to decline. Individual letters and cards mailed within the Atlanta area, which should arrive in a generous 2-day window, met that standard only 16% of the time in March. Atlanta and Richmond have new processing plants under a 2021 strategy, which was meant to make the Postal Service self-sustaining and high-performing. 3 years later, the Postal Service does not appear to be closer to meeting those goals. While some disruption should be expected with these network changes, the bottleneck in Georgia does suggest some underlying problems. Hopefully, service in Atlanta is an outlier and will rebound soon, but national service is also subpar and trending in the wrong direction. Some context helps in understanding these service problems. First, the Postal Service has relaxed service standards in recent years, which should make it easier to achieve a high on-time percentage. Second, the official numbers may actually undercount delays experienced by mailers and recipients. The postal strategy calls for centralized plants, which increase the time from when a customer gives mail to the Postal Service until the first scan. This can take place in a different state. The Postal Service has also decided to stop picking up mail from some post offices in the evening. The official metrics, therefore, may actually undercount delivery times by days, even when the network is operating smoothly. The Commission is working to understand and address these issues. Some parts of the postal strategy do make intuitive sense, especially at first. One might assume that lower standards, operational changes, and slower service have allowed the Postal Service to cut spending, improve efficiency, and become self-sustaining. They have not up to this point. Costs have not been reduced even though mail volume has declined. Efficiency fell by a historic amount of 4% last year. Commission advisory opinions in 2021 and 2022 noted concerns that were not fully addressed. These include the potential for late delivery of medications, unrealistic projections of cost savings, and lack of communication with stakeholders. We have seen these issues pop up again in headlines and in data, as well as in the OIG's recent audit of Richmond. A new advisory opinion makes sense as the Postal Service ramps up the national rollout of new processing plants and transportation options. These changes are clearly having an impact on service. Postal leadership has pointed out that the Commission has stopped or slowed down Postal Service's work. While I believe the need for oversight is readily apparent, the Commission has actually streamlined regulation to support the postal ecosystem where that's appropriate. Last year, the Commission approved negotiated service agreements, which are specialized contracts between the Postal Service and its customers, in 10 days on average, despite having a staff of fewer than 100 people. That is fast and flexible regulation where it's warranted. The Commission stands ready to work with postal leadership and stakeholders to preserve the postal system consistent with the law and the public interest. Thank you.
That this organization is not set up to deal with what this Congress is asking us to do, which is compete in the we have $39 billion worth of mail. It costs us $65 billion to deliver it. The only way to make that up is by driving cost out.
I'm also concerned that postal employees will face an impossible choice between commuting to Boston, and for those of you who don't know, this is ranked as one of the worst commutes in the country. You're talking about 2 hours each way for some of these employees at least to be reliably on time at work. It's one of the worst commutes in the country, and so they're going to face this choice to keep their jobs or leave the Postal Service altogether. So based on your observations, Inspector General, from previous consolidations, what can Granite Staters expect when operations move from Manchester to Boston? Specifically, what delays might customers see? And what will postal employees experience?
Yeah, thank you, Senator Haston, and I appreciate the opportunity to work with your staff on previous opportunities. I can't speak to specifics on what will happen directly in New Hampshire, but I can tell you what we've seen so far. In Richmond, we've seen challenges, particularly in service performance, and there was a real need for a better pre-implementation kind of ground game to get the employees on board so that they can understand exactly what the changes involve.
Well, I appreciate that. I would also suggest that this is not necessarily about getting employees on board. It's about listening to employees. They are the experts in delivering mail. They are the experts in their states. They're the experts. They're the ones who know where a particular address is when somebody writes the wrong address on an envelope. But they are the people who know this area, and you might all start with listening to them about what they think the impacts will be on service, service being the paramount obligation here. How could the Postal Regulatory Commission use its authority to ensure that the Postal Service meets its service obligations, especially in rural areas like New Hampshire's North Country?
Senator, thank you for the question. I will say that the portion of the law that requires the Postal Service to consult with the Commission as it's implementing service standards is not one that has a lot of teeth. It's a requirement to consult. However, the Postal Service has the direct authority over its own operational and service strategies. As you can see, they're quite aggressive in terms of exercising their autonomy. However, there are things that the Postal Regulatory Commission can do. The part of the law that has a little bit more teeth is the advisory opinion process, in which the Commission issues an advisory opinion to the Postal Service. These are on-the-record proceedings where stakeholders can come in and lay out some of those issues that you've pointed to that will affect stakeholders. And then the Commission is able to do a deeper dive, take into account all those different positions and issue recommendations. You pointed to medications. During 2021 and 2022, the Commission issued 4 advisory opinions. We repeatedly pointed out these issues. I have to commend our staff. Our tiny staff did a tremendous job, and they identified all of the issues that we've seen, the issues with medications, lack of communication with stakeholders, frankly, over-optimistic forecasts.
Yep.
So I think that advisory opinion process does have some teeth, and a new advisory opinion might be warranted as you see this ramp up of delivering for America.
And so what we saw, the nationwide numbers are exactly what you gave, but in Kansas City specifically, they had real challenges in hiring in that location. So sometimes you see areas that are not having problems, or not having, Postal Service not having problems filling positions, but in other places, it's been a real challenge.
I know you've said over and over again, give us a little bit more time. The service will get better on it. What do you anticipate? Just take Atlanta for an example, because I've got Tulsa and Oklahoma City. There's Fayetteville. There's others that impact Oklahoma. They're about to walk through this process. Is it an expectation that every one of these locations will see a decline and then it will increase as far as the delivery time period?
I expect Atlanta, Richmond, we've opened up other RPDCs, and they have not been as consequential. I expect these operations to be stabilized coming into the summer, into the summertime.
In response, I'm supporting a measure called the Postal Police Reform Act of 2023. It's led by Senators Durbin and Collins, bipartisan. It's a common sense, bipartisan bill that simply clarifies an authority for postal police officers that can help address the threat of violence, assault, and robbery. I'd like to ask you and the Inspector General for your support of this measure, the Postal Police Reform Act.
Yeah, I would say that we have done a lot over the last year with regard to stepping up activities around the country on postal crime. I have 600 postal police officers in the country. It's hardly enough to have any impact on the 260,000 routes and 300 carriers I have running around the country. We use our postal police to protect our facilities, where our people are and the mail is, and I don't have enough of that. I'm stepping up the action on that. There are places where we have 1,000 people and no security. So that's where we're trying to redirect it, but I will read the bill, and but I have, you're right, there's a legislative requirement that we cannot, patrol the streets, and
Do you think that it remains a problem?
I think that crime in the city streets doesn't.
No, I'm talking about crime against your employees.
Yes,
your civil servants. Yeah. They're being assaulted, are they not?
There's local partnerships that are critical to this, as the Postmaster General mentioned, but we're looking into what the postal police situation is when we do the local work.
This year, the Postal Service and the Office of Personnel Management are launching the new Postal Service Health Benefits Program for postal employees, for postal retirees, and for their families, which will help people integrate their health care with Medicare, something that needed to be done. It will be a significant feat for the Postal Service and for OPM to implement this new program. And Mr. Dejoy, with the first open season beginning later this fall, can you please speak to how the Postal Service and OPM are beginning to prepare or are preparing for this transition? And does the Postal Service feel well equipped to offer enough customer support to employees and to retirees through this transition in partnership with OPM?
Yeah, so I paid a visit over to the OPM director's office and met with the staff there maybe 7-8 months ago.
Can you bring the microphone closer to you?
I paid a visit over there about 7-8 months ago to have a kickoff discussion, and then brought the OPM team later to meet with our Deputy Postmaster General, who's also our Chief Human Resources Officer, and they have been working together on the details of this transition, since that particular point in time. And my updates are that everything is moving along well. A little, some potential opportunities in the selection process that we afford the people that sign up for Medicare. But all of that, from my readings and what I'm being informed, is moving, nicely along, and we'll be ready to implement.
All right, thank you. I want to.
Do you know, since you made this shift to the new Palmetto facility, what percent of outbound first-class mail was delivered on time in Atlanta?
It's a significantly lower number.
Yeah, it's 66%. Do you know what share of inbound mail, first-class mail is delivered on time?
It's probably all a day late, so
Take a guess how much of it's on time.
35%.
You're pretty much there, 36%. 36% of the mail is being delivered on time to my constituents. What is the specific nature of the operational failure?
Well, the specific nature they operate, we had to move 2,000 people from all these different plants into one location. We have strict requirements as to when they move. It's a big facility that we opened up. We have inbound transportation issues.
Yeah, but you knew it was going to be hard and complicated, right?
Yeah, and we tried to phase it in over several months, which we did, and we're gonna fix it. You're absolutely right.
When is it going to be fixed?
You will start seeing service improve. You should see it start now, and I think we'll get to where we need to be in about 60 days.
March 14th, I wrote you with 2 specific questions. What update can you provide regarding the aforementioned reported issues at the Atlanta Regional Processing and Distribution Center in Palmetto? Question 1. Question 2, how is USPS currently communicating with customers in the metro Atlanta area reporting delayed and lost packages? You haven't read the letter?
So letters come in, people put stuff together to answer it and get.
Let me just give you just a friendly piece of advice. You should personally read letters from members of the U.S. Senate committee that funds and oversees your operations, particularly where you are failing abysmally to fulfill your core mission in my state. And let me be clear, I think postal workers are out there every single day working their hearts out to deliver the mail on time. But if they don't have the infrastructure and the management competence overhead them to make a transition like this without drastically impairing the core function of the Postal Service, everyone in my state is losing. The amount of distress this is causing my constituents is massive. And I want to know what you are going to do, what specific steps you are going to take to fix this within 2 weeks.
So we have engaged over 50 different management executives on site. We're finishing up our staffing at at the remaining 3 locations. We are looking at our truck schedules, revamping our truck schedules. We are stabilizing the operation in terms of our machinery that we have deployed there. We are working better we have special teams down on site working on our docks, and we're working the rest of the transportation aspects of this that are causing a significant amount of problems. And the 2 plants where we did a lot of transfers, within the next 10 days, we should have them fully staffed. We had issues in terms of those transfers, so the team is working very hard, and I can assure you that in the long run, right, that you will have probably the best service in the country.
No, the long run is too long. You've got weeks, not months. You've got weeks, not months, to fix this. And if you don't fix it, 36% on-time delivery, I don't think you're fit for this job. I yield to Senator Butler.
I'd like to understand your plan for what voters should expect from the Postal Service relative to this upcoming election season.
You should expect the same good service we've been delivering for the last, since I've been here.
But February of 2023, there was a pipe that burst. We are in April of 2024, and it is not functioning to serve the people of Mono County.
The post office is closed.
And the post office is running out of 4 trailers. 4 trailers. February of 2022, a fire happened. Again, I'm not asserting that this is a part of deferred maintenance obligations. These are incidents that have happened. And, the residents of California are about to run into an election season where all of the ballots are delivered by mail. and they don't have any confidence that they're already not getting their prescriptions on time. They're already not getting all of the other, conditions that really emanate from center closures. And these are incidents that happen, and we are 2 and 3 years past those incidents, and nothing is being done that I can tell to ensure that the service is restored to the level of good that you said that folks should expect with this election season coming up.
Hey guys, if you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Always leave a like and subscribe, and check out my other videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.